So I haven't done any painting in a long time because a lot of the times for me it's seasonal, and I do a lot of painting outside because I don't have a lot of room in my house. Sometimes in the winter I'll do like small paintings at the kitchen table. But the weather today is really nice, so I thought I'd come out here. Every morning when I go to let the chickens out, there's this beautiful hill that I can see, and I can't show it to you because it's like on the other side of my neighbor's yard, so I can see it over the fence. But what I see is this beautiful mountain lit up in pink from the sunrise. There's this wonky little tree in front of it, and it's so pretty. So I'm gonna see if I can capture that on this little canvas here. I did mix a little red in there because I don't want it to be straight yellow. That yellow is kind of harsh, looking like mustard or something. And you want to always add a little bit of other colors to kind of blend things and make them more natural looking and not so harsh. And I like to use primary colors, if you can see that, because then I can blend the colors myself on the canvas, and it gives it a really neat kind of textured look to it when they're mixing together. They mix themselves together, and then also I feel like I can just really control what kind of colors I'm getting. And you're not going to get pure colors all the time, though. It's like when you get a red, it's not really a pure red. It does have a little bit of yellow in it, so your purple might be a little muted. Or you could get a blue that has a little bit of yellow in it, making it a little bit on the green side. So it's not necessarily a pure color, but you can control the mixing of it. So if you want it, like if you want to find a true, you know, like a really true purple, you might have to get an actual, just buy a purple paint from the store, you know, and not mix it yourself. But I find that the more colors I use, the more colorful it is, and I don't feel like I'm lacking anything. So I'm just kind of lightening the sky over the horizon a little bit. And sometimes adjusting like this is something I do at the end, but I can always do a little bit of it now so that later on it will have more of the look I want. Just to give me the idea. And I just want to cover up all those dark spots. I do like it dark because sometimes what you get is you get these dark outlines showing through, and it brings the picture out really well. And if I were to go over and just try to draw dark outlines, it doesn't really look as nice. And so I think this just gives it a little bit more. There's just a little bit more to it than it would be if everything was just straight on the white. That's how I feel. Alright, now I gotta come up with some kind of color for this tree. It's hard to tell because it's, you know, it's green. But in the morning light, what color is it? Is it purple? Is it orange? Is it... Sometimes I have the hardest time looking at something and trying to decide what color it is. So, well, it's mostly dark, but a little bit lighter. A little bit. when you have these small spots and you want to fill them in like this, what they call, you do what they call a loaded brush. So like, which means that you add a lot of extra paint on there, and then instead of the actual brush, the hairs of the brush brushing against the canvas, you are using the paint to fill in the spots, and it works a lot better. So that way, especially when you do a lot of things like this where you're filling things in, like, so a very common way to paint is to do layering, where you're layering things on top of each other. But mostly what I do is more like side by side, like kind of like a coloring book. So it's kind of like I draw an outline and then I fill it in side by side like a coloring book. So the loaded brush technique usually helps me a lot with that. And there's no, it's not like my way is right or whatever. It's just, this is the way that I like to do it that makes the most sense to me. And there's no wrong way to paint. You paint the way that you like to do it, and that makes sense to you, because it's art. So I want to talk about something which I call like fear in art. You need to, sometimes we're afraid, we're afraid to make something ugly or to make mistakes, and mistakes are going to be made. And I think that if we can get past that fear and just have fun, we can really go farther with our art. Because what you want to make deserves to exist, even if you can't do it right the first time, even if it doesn't look like you wanted it to, even if it's like, maybe you think it's a silly idea or something, but it deserves to exist, and it deserves for you to give it a try. And if you practice painting without fear, I think you can get better. You will get better. If you make mistakes, you'll get better. You just keep going, and then you can also do your best and make things really nice. But it takes a lot of learning sometimes to get there. Hi birdies. This is Lemon, this is Pepper, and this is Licorice. So as you can see, I changed it up a little bit because it wasn't really going the way I had in mind at first. And I always think if you don't like it, then change it. So it looks a little bit more like what I had in mind. Okay, this is starting to look much better. For such a simple picture, I sure rearranged things a lot. I went and added a little bit more yellow in there, just over the horizon. I think I'm going to add a little bit of lightning to the trees, some greens, just a little. And maybe for that extra touch, I will put the geese flying over the hill because they're going to go land in the field over there. So we're almost done.